Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Keri Wallace, and this is my Capstone project. Today, I am going to give y'all a very good insight to a caregiver's story and a guy's story for ALS, Amyotrophic Lateral Sclerosis. And the story that I'm going to bring you today is about Bub, and he's a very special guy. And he was diagnosed with ALS. And I have Andrew, the amazing Andrew. Yes, and we're going to do a phone interview with him, and he's going to tell us all about Bub and the things that happen day to day, a little bit about the diagnosis, and how long Bub's fight has been, and all kinds of great stuff. So, the amazing Andrew. My first question for you is, can you just describe you and Bub's day? Like, it's your day, you're going to get to go and take care of Bub today, and just what's the first thing that y'all do? Like, what's just a normal day?
Well, whenever I care for Bub, I usually will go over there about 8 o'clock in the morning. He's a night owl, so he's usually not awake so much whenever I'm there. But I'll get there and he'll be ready for his morning medicine. We'll get him that, get him some coffee, get him something to eat, and then we just watch TV. We hang out like any other normal cousins do. He gets everything through his peg tube, so he doesn't eat and drink the same way as we do, but he likes to sit in front of the TV. That's where he doesn't ever move from there, so we'll find us something to watch on the TV, and he'll let me know. The way he communicates with me is we have a board with the alphabet on it, and he's completely paralyzed now. He has no function in any of his limbs. The only thing that he can move is his eyebrows and his eyes. So, whenever he needs something from me, he'll kind of just raise his eyebrows up and down, and that's how he says yes also. So, I'll get the board, and he can actually move his mouth too. So he can move his mouth, and you have to be really good at reading lips, which has taken us a long time to get good at that. But I can usually tell by what he's saying to me, like we can have a conversation, and I can communicate with him that way. But sometimes I can't understand him, so then I'll get out the board, and we have to go from letter to letter, and whenever we spell out words, whenever you get to his letter, he'll give you the eyebrow thing.
Yeah.
And then you just spell out a word, and that's how he communicates.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. We came up with that early on after he was trached, because I'll kind of go over that in a minute, but they told us whenever we made the decision to have him trached that we would never hear his voice again, and he would never be able to talk to us again. So we had to develop a plan of how we were going to communicate, because we had never tried to read lips, or so we were completely unprepared for that, and there was just no way that we were going to be able to communicate with him like that without practicing over time and then getting it. So it took us a while, but we kind of make our own solutions to problems from day to day.
That's awesome.
He likes to watch hunting and fishing and all of that. He's kind of a smart aleck. He hasn't ever, I mean, he still has his personality. His mind is there. You know, everything's the same. He just can't function physically.
Right. And so that brings me to my next question. How long has Bub been diagnosed with ALS?
He got diagnosed with it in 2009, so he has actually defied the odds against the life expectancy, and he's almost doubled what, you know, the typical ALS patient lives. He's going on his 8th year now. So, I think, you know, just our care plan for him, you know, we have all of our family, and we don't hire people to come and care for him. We just, you know, it's our responsibility to take care of him, and we all take our turns with him. So.
Right. So what made Bub go to the doctor in the first place?
He started having this weird, it wasn't a pain, it was in his left, I believe it was his left thumb. It wasn't a pain, but he noticed that his muscle was going away, and his thumb, right in the joint where his thumb and index finger go together, that was turning into jelly, like it was jello-y. And so, that followed with some, you know, just some very minimal balance problems, and it started getting to where he just needed to know, you know, what was causing that. It wasn't anything major or anything that we just never even thought,
Right.
you know, it would be anything like that. So he went to OU Medical Center, and they did a few tests on him, and, you know, the doctor came in looking all kinds of confused, and he just didn't look so great. He told us that he had one test that he needed to do on Bub, and he told us that he thought he might have ALS, which none of us even knew what that was. So he said, I'm going to tap his tongue, and it was just like one of those little things, you know, that they check, where they check your reflex. He said, I'm going to tap on his tongue, and if it jolts, he says, if he has ALS, it will be like his tongue is having a seizure whenever I tap on it. And as soon as he tapped on his tongue just went into this little convulsion thing. And so that's where the diagnosis started. He had to get referred to the MDA and neurologist and all of that, and it just, every time he went somewhere else, it was all the same thing. So that's where it started. That's when we started researching and figuring out. That's when we started kind of getting the picture painted of what life was going to be like in the days to come.
Wow. I have an article from the Garvin County News Star, and it's an interview that Crystal, I have a picture who is Bub's wife. Ex-
Yeah.
well, this is Crystal, y'all.
Yeah.
So here she
Yeah.
is. And this is
They're
Bub.
not together anymore, but they have the baby together and stuff. And she's still, like, she'll still even come and help us every once in a while. But she left last year, so.
All right.
Yeah, she did a lot of really good things for Bub.
Yes. That's got to be a tough situation for everyone, for her, because in this article it's an interview with her, and you know she talked about the day that Bub was diagnosed, and just those feelings that she had whenever the doctor came in, and she talked about her feelings, and she talked about what it meant to Bub on everything that he would lose. But my focus really more is Bub. What did he say? Was he mad? Did he know what he wanted?
It was kind of we got blindsided by it. Bub, whenever he was first diagnosed, and they explained to him the inevitable that was going to come to him. I think that day, a huge part of him died that day. Along with our entire family.
Right.
It was just something that we weren't prepared for. Half of us hadn't even. I've heard of Lou Gehrig's disease. I'd never heard of ALS, anything like that. I'd heard of Lou Gehrig's disease. I didn't know anything about it, though. And whenever it gets explained to you what you need to expect and everything, it was traumatic, and then the days following, it was just dark. There was a change in our entire family. It was almost like we kind of started trying to prepare ourselves.
So the day that he was diagnosed, do you feel like that was the day y'all really started the grieving process?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. And it's gotten better.
Right, because y'all have had great days. You've had good days. And that, in all of my research and everything that you touch that has the words amyotrophic lateral sclerosis with it, it talks about how from the very beginning, palliative care should be given, and that what the end result is, and you're just giving every day that sparkle that it needs to have to make it good until the last day. So I think that's why that I was really drawn to Bub's story, and just because I know how your family is, and I know how just everybody y'all touch, y'all just make so happy, and just to know that there's somebody out there that has y'all as a great support system, that's really awesome. And
at first, there were bad days, he even attempted suicide. He took an entire bottle of, I'm not really sure what it was. I want to say it was a whole bottle of Xanax, but I'm not really sure. I don't know the medicine. I do know that, he got put in Red Rock, I think, in Norman.
Mm-hmm.
And just, after that, whenever he came out of that and he saw how it affected the family and everything, I think that day he decided to kind of, let God be in control of that part. He didn't want to There's a glitch in the plan.
Right. He's like, all right, we got.
I mean, he has a lot to live for.
Yes.
And he knows that.
Yes. Well, I just want to thank you. I did want to talk about the foundations that y'all as a family, Bub as an individual, have set up, because a lot of times, doctors will refer, and I got a lot of my research from the ALS Association, which is alsa.org, and y'all as a family have actually set up a foundation. Can you tell me the name of that?
Well, there's different organizations like that we have actually started, and they're all they all reflect him in some way. Most of them are for things that he did whenever he was able, like the noodling, for instance. He was an avid noodler. I don't know what he ever seen in it, but he did it. So we did a noodling for Bub's Cure event, and what that was for was to raise money and awareness, but we were raising money because he wanted to have genetic testing done. He wanted to have stem cells done, and he wanted to take advantage of everything that he could with the disease and the treatment and everything.
Right.
So we put together a noodling tournament, and much like the big Okie noodling thing, and we raised a lot of money. We were able to do the testing.
Hey.
Bub used to play softball, so we had a Bat for Bub tournament. We have done 5Ks, and we've just, anytime there was something that he needed to do medically, or, just to try to make him feel like he showed up and he did what he needed to do.
Right.
Just to try to make a difference or an improvement, So whenever these things would pop up, or whenever something new would come up to where what he could do,
right, we
would take advantage of that, and we would use the foundation, which it's the noodling for Bub. I don't think it ever changed from that. It's just,
right.
It started as that, and then it just kind of branched throughout other smaller fundraisers and nonprofit things that were things that he was interested in.
Right. That's so awesome. Just to incorporate all the life that he had and everything that he loved into using it. Like that's what makes Bub special, and that's why I feel like I was so drawn to him, and just that's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
We went to Houston to have his little girl. She's 4 now, but he wanted to make sure that she wasn't gonna end up getting it and stuff like that. He needed to know, because there is that possibility that you can pass it through genetics.
Right. So, that is familial ALS. And on the ALS website, it says that familial ALS accounts for 5 to 10% of all the cases in the United States. And there's a 50% chance that the offspring of someone that has ALS will get it. And that, to me, is really as a parent, like, that is scary, and that's why ALS is that's why it's so horrible, because it has that mean, manipulative, maniacal, genetic thing, that's something.
Yeah.
But it's gone so far. There's so much research now, and like so many different things. Like, I got onto some really deep scientific websites. Like, they're doing some things, and but I can see why Bub was like, let me do everything I can to make sure that if there's a probability that my baby's going to have it, then let me give her every day that she's able to.
And we did the testing and everything. That was also a scary day for us.
Yeah.
But we found out that is not the case. There is a 50-50 chance, but we found out that he didn't pass it along to her, so that was wonderful news.
Yay.
Another thing that he did every time we would raise money for these things, he would always make a donation to ALS research with some of his profit. So, he's a selfless person. Like, he's always been that way, and it's not even because, in a sense, I feel like he knows that, even if they pop up with a cure or something, I feel like, and I truly believe this too, but I feel like it's not going to be so much an option for him, only because he has progressed so much. We just had an appointment. One of his hospice nurses, she came and told us a couple weeks ago that they had decided that he was in his final stages. So that's something that was kind of hard for us to hear. He signed a DNR. He had my grandfather's power of attorney, so he talked him into signing a DNR for him. He's tired, but through all of it, with even on the days whenever he's down the most, he always looks to his daughter, and it's just like, that's his cause, that's his purpose, and he knows that no matter what happens or what goes on that day, that's why he's still here, that she's the reason why he still endures this and everything. And he's as happy, as possible.
That's awesome. That's what it's all about. Well, the amazing Andrew, I'm going to let you go. And thank you so much for calling me and talking with me about Bub and just every day and how amazing it is and how amazing you are and how crappy ALS is. Boo!
It's an ugly, ugly disease.
It is. Okay. Well, big hugs. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
I'm Keri, and this is my capstone. Yay!